Welcome to Time Caregiver Confessions. I'm your host, Cami. This is a space for every first-time caregiver trying to figure it all out, from managing the overwhelm to finding little moments of calm in the chaos. Each week, I'll unpack real stories and real confessions, practical tips, and a few honest laughs about what it's really like to step into caregiving for the first time. So take a deep breath. You're in good company. Let's get into today's confession. Hey guys, it's me. Welcome back. So today's confession, managing caregiver burnout. Oh my goodness. I know I can share a lot about this, but I bet my sister could even more. I'm going to have to invite her to the podcast and so she could share her side of being a caregiver. But some of the signs to recognize, when it comes to caregiving burnout that I experience, you may be moody, extra edgy, tired, exhausted, just, I don't know. And also I don't know about you, but when it comes to stress, I'm like a stress eater. But definitely those are just a few of the signs when it comes to burnout. You're on edge. Every little thing that normally wouldn't bother you, it may set you off. You have a short fuse. These are some of the things that I've experienced. In terms of my sister, if I could speak for her, I know that some of the things she's confessed to me is things like super high anxiety, very high stress, same thing, emotional eating. But I mean, she's gotten so stressed to the point of literally making herself sick. Like, that's, just very high stress, burnt out, can't sleep at night, night sweats. So these are some of the things. I'm sure if you did a Google search and look up other burnout symptoms, there's probably even more. But, also, what's the word? Brain fog, inability to think clearly. You're usually really on it, quick as a whip, but not lately. So these are some of the signs, some of the things that we did to recharge. I know, well, I'll speak for myself, but I know for her, I know she just tries to do her best to take naps when she can. Also for me, things that help reset and recharge and help pour into myself is, one, you have to take care of yourself. Health is wealth. I've said it before in another episode where, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself. And one thing I've learned is, like, watching as our parents age and taking care of our dad is like, you want to take care of yourself now for your future self. Like, I don't want to end up like how he is. I want to take care of myself now the best way I can, so it will benefit my future self. So the daily or weekly resets things I try to do to help myself is keep my mobile activity, like use my walking pad 2 to 3 times a week, do my strength training with dumbbells, resistance training 1 to 2 times a week. I actually really want to increase that a lot, because as a woman in her 40s, I know that's important. So I really want to increase the dumbbell and resistance training. Also, I've learned, I'm going to try to treat myself. For the longest time, I happen to be married for over a decade, but I kind of let myself go in terms of the little things, like getting my nails done, stuff like that. And I've picked that back up in the past couple months in terms of getting my nails done, getting my gel nails. And they last because not only can I help with, doing stuff around the house, and it doesn't, chip is easy. I didn't know I'm real slow to the game here, you guys, with a gel nail. But anyway, my point is taking small things to make yourself feel good and take care of yourself. Also, just old classic, hey, I'm a Gen X kid, stuff like drinking your water, drinking your filtered pure water, getting, plenty of glasses of that in during the day, doing your, exercise. Like I said, I'm trying to shoot for 4 to 5 days a week. Ideally, every day would be good. Other ways to reset and recharge yourself: treat yourself out to lunch. Take a couple hours away and just decompress. Go out by yourself. If you're not a fan of doing solo things, bring your best friend or plan a day and plan a day trip. I know my sister, she kind of goes for what she calls stress drives. She'll take the car and she'll just go for a drive. That's what she does to like decompress. But one of the other things, like you want to kind of make a conscientious effort to splurge and take care of yourself. So I'll give you a quick story of a recent trip my sister and we took. It was I think it was September, around the Labor Day holiday. And we set it up so our dad was we looked, checked in on our dad, made sure he was good. The trip was a 24-hour trip, so my sister was there in the morning into the early afternoon and then left, and then he was okay overnight, and then we were back. She was back home by like noon, 1 p.m. the following day. But what we did, we decided to take an overnight trip to a neighboring state in the Pennsylvania Poconos area. It was wonderful. We stayed at a little boutique hotel. And it was near Crossroads Premium Outlets, like in that area, Swiftwater, Poconos area. And it was wonderful. The hotel staff, you walk in, the hotel staff greets you with champagne. When I walked into the check-in, the person was like, "Hi, Cammie," and says, "Hi, I'm here. I have a reservation." He's like, "Oh, yes, I remember you. You called to confirm your reservation." I was like, what? Like, what in the customer service is this? Like, this hotel was awesome. It was called the Swiftwater. It was wonderful. Oh my gosh. The customer service, the ambiance, the lighting, you walk in, it's contemporary, modern. It was just built within the last 2 or 3 years, actually, too. Brand new open space lobby, open concept, concierge when you walk in. And then when you look further back, it's all open area. So it's open dining. And then beyond past the dining, you see the heated pools and the fire pit. The hotel we went to, it seems to be kind of the ambiance is an all adult experience. I think they do welcome kids, but the weekend we went, it was all adults. So it was very nice to just be with grown folks, relaxing, taking time out for ourselves. The hotel room accommodations were wonderful. The beds were comfy. Linens were super plush, luxurious. The bathrooms were double sink, double vanity, bathrobes, plush bathrobes in there with slippers. I mean, it was just super luxe and worth the money. Like I said, sometimes you have to pour into yourself when you are pouring into everyone else. And for us, it was just one day, but it was a wonderful 24 hours of just relaxation, pouring into ourselves, getting our little snacks, watching, TV on the tube, Netflix. We did the whole shopping and outlets nearby, but just to decompress and just breathe. It was just nice. So when it comes to being a caregiver, you just want to make sure it's a good idea to set and plan time for yourself. By the time we checked out the next morning, we didn't realize how much we needed that, being caregiver, and then, also juggling our careers as well. But it's not until you can take a moment to pause that you realize, like, wow, I really needed this. So if I could say anything to anyone that's a caregiver, take time out to literally plan, even if it's just an overnight trip, or even if it's a day trip. If you can't afford to do an overnight trip, or you can't either financially afford it or time-wise can't afford it, take at least like a 4-hour break of time or 12 hours break of time to take a break. You need it for yourself and you won't regret it. So if I had to just share a lesson learned, give yourself permission to take time out for yourself. You won't regret it, because pouring back into yourself is priceless. So with that said, you guys, thank you for listening to today's episode of the First Time Caregiver Confessions. And I hope you feel seen and supported. And please take a second to follow and subscribe to the show. Share it with another caregiver who could use a little encouragement. And you can also connect with me wherever you get your podcasts, including our website linked in the description, to keep this conversation going. Until next time, guys, you take care of yourself. And remember, you're doing better than you think.